What's up, Star Wars fans? David Land here bringing you, guess what, a Star Wars review. This time we are taking a look at the Hasbro 3.75-inch scale Resistance A-Wing Starfighter. This was purchased for $29.99 off the shelf at my local K-Mart, though I have seen this at Toys R Us stores and at Target during my post-Force Friday hunt for Star Wars merchandise. I didn't actually go to Force Friday because I was in a hotel room about to get some sleep for a weekend of IndyCar racing at Watkins Glen, but that is neither here nor there. I ended up with this A-Wing. I actually tried to buy it about a week early at that Kmart that I ended up buying it from, but they wouldn't sell it to me. Go figure. So, for those of you who are new to my channel or have just subscribed within the last year and a half, you wouldn't have even known that I did Star Wars videos. But in the past, I did some videos on the two Force Awakens Resistance Starfighters. Both of those were of the X-Wing model. There was a black and orange one that was a Poe Dameron special, and then a blue and white one, which I actually have to compare here with the Resistance A-Wing, which was a little bit better quality than the black and orange one. The black and orange one was actually quite bad, to say the least. Ironically enough, that's the one they have decided to re-release in the Last Jedi line as a Toys R Us exclusive, but we'll talk about that later. Right now we are talking about the A-Wing Starfighter. So this is going to be a full unboxing and review. I'm about to take this thing out of its box. We're going to apply any stickers on camera that may need to be done. We're also going to assemble it so that you guys at home will have a complete understanding of how everything goes together if you do decide to purchase this. I'm also going to put some additional figures in it, and like I said, do a comparison with this up against the Resistance X-Wing that came out in the Force Awakens line. Now, the one thing I won't be able to do is take a look at the Force Link. I just don't have the Force Link. I didn't want to drop $25 on it, but if you don't know what the Force Link is, it's actually microchips that go in each of the figures and the vehicles, and then the little Force Link activator actually allows you to hear the figures talk, which is actually pretty cool technology. Reminds me of the old Episode 1 days when I was a kid, when we had Comtech technology. Now, I never had the Comtech system either to actually hear my figures speak, but the people who were old enough or rich enough, I guess, to have the Comtech say that the Force Link is much better than that is. So let's take a closer look at the back of the box. A long-time reliable starfighter model used by the Resistance that dates back to the struggle between the Empire and the Rebellion. The A-Wing is a nimble wedge-shaped fighter, propelled to incredible speeds by large twin engines. And there is what the A-Wing is supposed to look like. We'll see how accurate it is on the box. And there's the Force Link if you're so inclined to buy that. Now, the interesting thing about the A-Wing is it actually premiered in Return of the Jedi, kind of as a new starship, and then kind of in the historical way of the galaxy, by the time we got to Force Awakens, they were using X-Wings, which kind of confused me because it was like A-Wings were in Return of the Jedi and X-Wings were in A New Hope, therefore they were older. Why are they still being used? But anyway, all of that kind of nerdiness aside, let's get this thing out because I never had an A-Wing as a kid. I am actually old enough, I guess that's kind of weird to say these days, but I'm actually old enough to have lived during the Power of the Force era, Episode 1 era, all these eras where they released A-Wing starfighters, and I never ended up having one. I did have the X-Wing, the Dagobah version from the original trilogy, but never an A-Wing. I will say this thing's looking pretty good. There is all the parts, so you've got the, I guess the engine pods there, both of them, left and right, which are probably just going to snap in. There you've got the fuselage of the craft, the center of it with the cockpit. You've also got some firing missiles down here, and you've also got the turrets on the side. So this is going to be probably pretty easy to take apart. Let's see real quick if there are any stickers involved with this. Here are the instructions. Looks pretty simple and straightforward. Oh, it's just a page. Is it just a page? No, it's not. We've got a... Oh, this is just talking about the Force link. How you use the Force link. And yeah, that's the rest of the assembly. There's no stickers, which is better than the X-Wing was. So I'm going to cut all these parts out, take a quick break, and show you this A-Wing all together. Alright, so here are all of the parts of the A-Wing strewn about. Looks like we've had a bit of a crash, but no worries. This looks like it's pretty easy to assemble. So let's pick up the fuselage here. Take a look, because I think the engine should just slide right in there. You can see they've got some tabs there, and there's actually holes down in there which manage to lock into place. I think you do have to give it a little bit of force, though. Ha ha ha, pardon the pun, to get it down in there, and it snaps, and that is not coming out of there ever again. So that is part of the A-Wing assembled. Here's the other engine, and again the concept is the same on the other side. It's just that the little tabs there, I think, are swapped so that you can't possibly stick the wrong engine in the wrong side. So let's see if we can get this in as easy as the other one did. And maybe, come on David, you can do it. There we go. And snaps in very easily. Well, maybe very easily. It's easy if you're not me and failing at these things. So we go in with one side of the cannon, and I guess I've chosen the wrong side. I've chosen unwisely. And that should just snap right in there, possibly. Yeah, that should go in there, if we can get it. This is live and unfiltered. Come on, get in there. There we go. It does take a little bit of a press. I'm guessing they want this thing to stay together when you first put it together, so that you're never going to have to worry about it coming apart, because obviously these are designed for kids, but clearly adult assembly is required. And then in with the cannons, the firing missiles, I should say. We've already got the cannons in there. And there's your A-Wing assembled. And it also does come with a landing gear, a single landing gear. And there you go. So let's take a closer look at this all together and how it interacts with the figures. Speaking of figures, this is the figure that comes with it. It's A-Wing Pilot, or Resistance Pilot, I think it's something like that, Tallie. It's a girl. That's all I pretty much know about this character. Probably, if I had to guess, this character is going to get blowed up during the film. But I do have to admit that they've actually improved the quality of the figures quite a bit from Force Awakens. Though she doesn't have a removable helmet. The new Poe Dameron figure does, and I actually have him over there. We're going to try him in the A-Wing momentarily. But it's definitely a better sculpt than we were used to in The Force Awakens. She also comes with a removable Resistance pistol. That is something we saw first with all the pilots in The Force Awakens. Speaking of The Force Awakens, notice a difference between the pilots from that movie and the pilots from this one. Yes, it's no more banana yellow visor. Poor Snap Wexley could not avoid that punishment. But thankfully, they've decided, or Hasbro decided, that was not the way to go with the figures. Cheaping out was kind of terrible. But let's take a look at this A-Wing close-up. Some of the details before we stick Tallie in there. Obviously, the missiles fire here. I think we'll fire those at the end of the video. Do a little target practice. There is some nice weathering, and the plastic does feel significantly better built than the stuff from The Force Awakens. You also have some weathering here, scuffing, I'm guessing, from like re-entering atmosphere and whatnot. And there are the engines. Obviously a blue livery on this one. I believe the Resistance in the Star Wars universe utilizes blue and white as their livery. We actually saw a photo of this ship with a red and white livery, which was reminiscent of the Rebellion. Now, what I speculate, or my personal speculation, is that is a Republic A-Wing, and we're actually going to get to see the New Republic for more than 5 seconds and getting blown up on Hosnian Prime in this video or in this movie, but that's just my speculation. So the Republic uses the old colors of the Rebel Alliance because they are essentially the old Rebel Alliance, and then the Resistance is blue and white. So let's take a look at the cockpit here, and it does open up from the front, which is kind of interesting. We're back. So that's a super tight fit. It definitely fits on there very tightly. So there's a little hole that this snaps into, and I almost feel like I'm going to definitely do a cut when we when we try a few different figures in there. So we're going to put Tallie in there with the gun, because I don't think there's a place. Oh, maybe there is a place. Is that a place to put the gun? I feel like this little hook back here, if you see it in the cockpit, it's kind of hard to see. It seems like there's some shadows. Yeah, right there. It seems like you can maybe put the gun there, but I don't know if it would like catch. I think that may just be a place to catch. So we're just going to put Tallie in there with the gun and just see how this works out. So it is going to be a pretty tight fit, it looks like, with the figure, getting her in there. Let's see if we can. Yeah, okay. So you just kind of put her arms almost all the way down, and then kind of wedge her in the cockpit. And then she's in there, and it doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of play with the figure in the cockpit, as you can see, just bouncing around. That's a concussion there. We need some seatbelt laws or something. But yeah, it does look pretty good. It doesn't look underscaled. I know there were some people worried about that, but the way I'm looking at it, it's looking pretty good scale-wise. If you didn't already know, actually, these 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figures are actually 1/18 scale. So if you're familiar with racing die-cast or die-cast models or whatever, 1/18 scale, that's a scale that a lot of people, at least that subscribe to my channel, will be very familiar with. The white on the Starfighter is not quite pure white. It's a little bit more of a cream color, almost closer to gray, but it doesn't really hurt it too much. There you go. I'm guessing this is like blue or red 2 or something because of the 2 on the side. Then again, I don't know the Star Wars number font, but then again, we've got a 2 here, so I guess Pilot Tallie is blue 2 or red 2. I guess we'll wait to find out in the movie. But what we don't have to wait to find out is how some of the friends, compatriots, Romans, countrymen from The Last Jedi managed to fit in the A-Wing. So let's try that, shall we? So we've relieved Tallie of her flight duties for now, so that we can try a few different people. We already saw Snap Wexley. Let's see if he fits in this. Remember, we got to keep the arms straight on him. Oh no, Snap's knees are not going to work with that. If we just move the camera up just a little bit. Yeah, Snap's in some trouble there. It's actually not that he's too portly. It's that his knees kind of catch on it, so he's a little too tall to fit in the A-Wing. Let's try another Last Jedi figure. This is Poe Dameron. Of course, everybody knows Poe Dameron. But this is cool because it's not necessarily a 5 points of articulation action figure. You can actually move the arms, which are the wrists, which is better than the normal Hasbro articulation. Can we fit Mr. Dameron in here? I think we may be able to. It's definitely going to be a tight squeeze for sure. But Poe does maybe fit in there. Oh, this is going to be... Wow, Poe doesn't fit in the X-Wing and he doesn't fit in the A-Wing. Nope, he fits in there. So Poe can fit. It's a tight fit. Lord only knows if he actually has to fly this during Force Awakens. I think Hasbro's going to have an aneurysm because I don't know if they're going to be able to make a toy that actually fits him. But of course, the question that everybody wants the answer to in the Last Jedi, I should say, is can Luke Skywalker, can he fit in the A-Wing? And I feel like with his Jedi robes, or at least we assume they're Jedi robes, he would not be able to fit in the A-Wing. And indeed, Luke, yeah, he needs his X-Wing because the A-Wing doesn't really suit him very well. So let's take a look at the A-Wing versus the Resistance X-Wing that came out during The Force Awakens and kind of do a size comparison. So here's a size comparison of the Resistance X-Wing and the Resistance A-Wing, and you can see definitely the X-Wing is much bigger. This retails, or I guess the new X-Wing retails, or not the new X-Wing, but the re-release of the black and orange X-Wing retails for $50. Bit overpriced if you ask me. This retails for $30. So let me know in the comments if you think you're getting your money's worth. I would definitely say you're probably getting your money's worth for the A-Wing, especially considering that it may end up dropping in price after Christmas. But then again, you're going to have to kind of take the risk that that is, it's going to drop in price and it's not going to sell out. That's always a distinct possibility, though with the recent trend of Star Wars vehicles not being quite as desirable in the marketplace, it seems like you might be able to take a good gamble, making sure that you buy the A-Wing in the spring clearance time. But anyway, this has been a review of the Resistance A-Wing. I hope I helped you make an informed product decision. Oh, by the way, that little logo is where the little microchip is for the Force Link. Yeah, I hope I've helped you make an informed decision when buying your Star Wars toys. Let me know down in the comments section below if you're beginning to think about picking this up, or if you were thinking about picking this up and I changed your mind one way or the other. And before we leave, let's take a look at a montage of the A-Wing shooting Kylo Ren, because screw Kylo Ren for reasons that would spoil The Force Awakens for the one person who has not seen that movie yet.